Greetings and welcome. This is Psychic Medium Roberto, and I truly hope you are doing well today. I'm recording this episode on May the 9th at 7:17 p.m. 7:17 p.m. local Johannesburg time. Trigger warning: the subject matter is of a mature nature and deals with true crime events. All cases are treated as alleged until proven in a court of law. In today's episode, I'll be looking at the passings of Carl Brings Plenty, as well as his sister Carla Jo Mercy Red Bear. Alright, so the first part of the reading, I'm going to be looking at Carl, and then we're going to switch to Carla Jo, and then combine the two at the end. And the case was pinging on me, and obviously this case took place what I'll refer to as my plenty time, busy time, correct. Energy is definitely around. I was actually going to do the show starting with only the last seen date, but I thought let's include visually at least where the end date would be. April the 5th is when Cole is found deceased. The manner or method is in a sealed document as far as I understand. They could be relevant, but as far as I understand. So as the narrative goes and the story goes, news reports, March 31, I believe Cole flees the scene of a domestic dispute scenario, and not seen again until, of course, April the 5th. So let's have a look going from March 31 all the way up to March. So let's go March 31 until we get to April 5th to see what has transpired and what happened to Cole during these days. And also we will get the reflection information on the event day. So let me just put here, I'm gonna make last seen as the event day, because that would technically kickstart sequence of events. Of course, domestic disputes are not nice, but let's get the information. Let's not be the judge until we know the story or the information. I must just tell you, Cole has warned me that it's not nice what we're about to experience. So Sunday, alright, let me just go here. So then this would be our reflection day. Now this switches to April, which is going to not make it impossible, but I will include a ghost sequence as well, but we'll get to that. Let's just look here. I've got the 5 in the day. I couldn't believe this was so recent. So we got a 13, 4, 4. That 5 is bugging me here. That 5 is standing out for me. Now I will include a ghost sequence for sure, just so we compare what is going on here. So we have this 13-4. It can have several meanings, but in this case, because we are dealing with a negative outcome, that is about death and endings. Death and endings. In the positive, it can be new beginnings. Starting afresh, starting a new job, starting in a new town, starting at a new townhouse, or starting at a new house, new job. 14-5. This 5 for me, something's not this for me. I'm just feeling it, and I'm feeling some dread around as well, eh? Okay, so on the day, on the reflection day here, okay, so let's just do this so it doesn't confuse people. Last scene, reflection. So on April the 3rd will be the reflection of what transpired on March 31. We got a 7 in the middle here, huh? Seven in the middle is not a good thing. I've recalled in several episodes, in one instance, and you know there's certain numbers like these pedo bloody churches. When you start seeing trafficking numbers, you always check to see as a children, or if at a crime scene, when you see there's like a policeman there, or a potential policeman, let's say, you know, is there or was there a police person at the crime scene, not investigating, but involved in the crime? And also, on the other hand, there's an injustice that has occurred. And we'll look, domestic violence and me don't go there. We will look at that day. But I'm just looking at the reflection here. See, there is this male situation going on here. I'm going to flag it. But for me, it's telling me it should actually be an older male. Eh? So I don't know. I haven't done research into who the partner was. Let's just see. Alright, sorry for the pause there. I was just getting more information. Before I started recording, I was looking at Cole's date of birth. We'll finish that now. Having his information is very important, particularly in a complex case like this, by the looks of things. You see, the reflection day reflects the 15-6 here. These are... Something else was going on here. And we've seen this number recently. Was it with Grace Kelly? Once again, the flipping royals are going their separate ways. Nothing like dealing with something amicably, right? And I'm not saying Cole behaving badly, I'm just saying. Let's go backwards, ladies and gentlemen. I feel in this case the answers may be leading up to the event. Oh, come on. You know, these past few readings, and I'd just like to answer a comment. And fair comments, everyone, please, you are welcome to make comments. We all have the right. If I need to improve in certain areas, sure. But a recent comment that I'm cryptic. I would regard myself as probably one of the least cryptic people. There are times, I will admit, there's been not many, but 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 max, I would say, where I have not given the full detail, either because as an agreement when I take on a case, I have my own personal how I approach a case, first get approvals and then proceed. But sometimes even getting approvals has conditions, and I abide by those conditions. And if something is so heinous that even the human being that I am can't comprehend some of the visuals that are just too flabbergasted to even put into words from the Grace Kelly show, I also have a responsibility, being on a media platform space, that I can't just be shouting fire every day. So all things are done, and in fact this came up before the reading. I actually got the Grace show open. The number 8 at the end of my card here, while I was doing the Tabitha Tudor show, that case, and while in that experience, in spirit, looking at that case, she awarded me in spirit the 8, and is my guide in a way about discernment. So if you look at the sequence of my end boards, there never used to be an 8 until some point, and now it's always there. And I exercised discernment in all and every case situation, whether private or public. March 30. Oh my goodness, look who we have here. The royals at play again, yeah, are we? Let's see, 33-6, you don't want to see that at a crime scene. But allegedly he ran away from a domestic dispute, so why would there be a murder scene here? 41-5, 14-5. 5. You see, now when I pull out the numbers for every show, right? 1 or 2 numbers, and I'm open to whatever numbers talk to me in a sense, if you can say. In this case, this 5 here is bugging me. So 5, April 1, here we see the 5 year again, March 30. And we have the 5 there on April 2. So I'm getting a vibe of what we know about the facts is not necessarily so. So let's go for, so we already got a 14.5 before the day, right? So that's already at a crime scene, these are the thugs or the lies, the betrayal. But with the 33.6 in the day there, that's a serious comment, to say the least. So 29.11.2, 32.5. Who do we have on the scene, ladies and gentlemen? The fathers that are. 44. The fathers that are. Art thy father. So we're starting to get a picture here. See, there's a breakup of things going on here. There's a breakup of people here again. You see here, 32.5. Once again, we have the clan breaking apart. Aren't these similar dates to Karen? Band of brothers breaking apart here. So 32.5, there's a breakdown of community. 44 on the scene. I'm going to flag the 40s because whenever you have a group of males, and we'll try to find supporting numbers, what kind of fathers these are. But when you have numbers like 33.6, 41.5, that's oof. There's a breakup shakedown going on here. And let me just also be clear. I'm not talking about interpersonal relationships here. Like a one-on-one relationship. There's like groups. Something has gone down here. Let's go back some more. Start seeing the picture. 28. Yeah, you know, it's interesting to see how you always find the same old suspects at the crime scene. Let's see. But there's a death here as well, eh? There's death going around here. 31.4. Now we also try to connect confirmation. 13.4 is also death. Yeah, on this last scene day, here's this 31.4 repeats itself. Oh, 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 oh. There's death in the air, ladies and gentlemen, and it's it looks like a bit of a hunt. And I just had a sensation when this case first crossed my desk, my dashboard. There was a hunt here. Hunting that involves people that use things like 33-6. What they do to the human body, 41-5. What are we watching? What are we watching here, ladies and gentlemen? Alright, I'm getting told, because we've got 3 days leading up now to the last scene situation. We've got 3 days after. We can still... let's do the 4th here quickly while we're here. I also want to just include... I want to complete Cole's birthday. And let's see if we can get a bit more of a picture. Here's an interesting day. Look at these numbers. Conflict of interest, ladies and gentlemen. Conflict of interest. The reason why I'm saying conflict of interest, the 8 plus the 8 together. I remember this day. I remember this day in the real, because from a numerology point of view, I found it quite interesting, because in the mornings, and I'm just going to mark it here for you guys, the day starts with 4. That's already like issues. That's a standoff on its own, right? It's a conflict of interest on its own. And I'll relate it to what happened to me on this day, actually. It's quite interesting. Because it did apply to me, actually. It impacted me. I got 4s and I got 8s. And I've got a 16-7 and I've got a 7. So this day I remember very clearly. And it was around the launch, right? I was having launch of the book. I had issues sorting out my international banking situation. Or it got delayed by 24 hours, let's put it that way. That's why the actual launch was pushed out. So there was the admin process, which was all the 4s, which was fine. All my admin was good. The communication between the institutions was the issue. So although the bank in overseas sent information to South Africa, they were not able to communicate the 8s because the one bank had a public holiday. And therefore there was a delay. Interesting. Now the day that supposedly he passed, April the 5th, is all these 8s. Let me just get something to sip on, because talking. What a kaleidoscope of numbers we are looking at. Look at all. April the 4th, there was all that imbalance. I'm just going to highlight it here and then we'll complete the date of birth. But we've got a lot of activity going on around here. But I'm definitely that feeling of the hunt. We're just looking at March 28. We may need to go back a bit more as well. Yo, there's a lot going on here. Forty, 51, 6. My brain just stopped there for a minute. I don't know why. Sorry, there's a lot of information coming through here. Jeez. All right. +17 +25, believe it or not. 42, 6. My brain has just seized. 24, 6. 15, 6. 6. This is why we connected. It's because I'm also a 6 life path, not those numbers, but I'm also a life path 6. 6s normally attract. They'll always connect. Alright, so let's have a look here. So on the day of his disappearance, we do see 42, 6. We have the 42, 6 there. So in this case, we'll go green. +15, 6. So it's definitely at the scene. +34, 7. 31, 4. 3. Now, you see, now we've got pings here, right? 42, 6, 15, 6, and the 6. But where those numbers are positioned is the outcome of a day, right? But just from a day point of view, where the 42, 6 and the 15, 6 sits as an outcome. So let's just say, and I haven't looked at the case at all. I know a woman was heard screaming, he fled the scene, and so on. Now, if these numbers were 42, 6, 15, 6 more in the day, let me just see here. I'm getting the sense of like it was a setup. Because the notion that it impacts at the end of the day, which makes sense, it pings on him, but you know what I mean? It's not. It's pinging. It's not the right positions here. Although we have matches, something is wrong. Let me just see. See, we got this 5 in the next day. So it's almost like what we know about the case, there's something wrong about the information. It feels like he's been set up here. So if we go back, I see some of you are saying the 15-6 matches him there as well. And we've got the 7 here. But in the ghost day it would be 34, 35, 36, 37, 10, 1. You see, in the ghost reflection day it would be 37, 10, 1 here, which is higher ups involved here. That's why the 7 in the middle of this day here is problematic. And it's in connection with the 5, the bullshit that's going on around here. So let's quickly look at, so on the day, April 5 is the day he's found deceased, right? So we note the 17-8, and he has the 17-8 here in the day. See, here's a problem. 9. There's something, there's a hoax or something going on here. Let me clarify that. Not a hoax. Let me just say not a hoax. But there's something else crawling around in the background here. See, here's this 5 again. Something about this whole situation stings to high heaven. Stings to high heaven. So, okay, let me just tell you another way of putting it. The information given about the circumstances around Cole's death does not match the numbers. They're trying to fit it into a something, but it's not adding up. So alright, so what I want to do, I did just take a small break, but while I was taking a break, I want to just look at something here quickly. 5, 6, 7, 8. So this would technically be the reflection day of April the 5th, right? So let's just see here quickly. So we got the anomaly of 8s. Here's a 22. Eleven, 2, 2. So this is what I'm saying. This reminds me of the Prince William and Princess Catherine situation in the US, in the UK, I beg your pardon, where we kept on having these anomalies of 8s when they were trying to communicate around Catherine's health. and well-being. So April the 8th, we already have 3 8s. We have 3 8s. So communication is problematic. And I'm going to prove this to be the case, because I saw something during the break here. So we have the anomaly of 8, which is a miscommunication. We note the day that supposedly he was found murdered. Convenient that the records are sealed. Convenient for who? The higher ups. There are higher up numbers here. And we're not talking about policemen and policemen or traffic cops. We're talking people, decision makers in offices, decision makers in corridors. These people here, March 29, 44. Whoever these higher-ups are. Smacks of ritualistic in nature, I must say. Particularly the day before the so-called incident, domestic dispute. And I will look at March 31 specifically from a domestic dispute perspective to see if there are numbers. Ritualistic in nature, 33.6. There's a narrative that's been pushed here. Now you see, and I'll beg your pardon, we'll come back to March 31. But let's finish off March 8. Now as the story goes, yes, there's a woman or a home situation, yes. Where there's an outburst, yes. Emotional outburst 22. But the problem is it ends with an 11-2. Oof. This rabbit hole is going deeper, ladies and gentlemen. April the 6th. April the 6th. Got a 10-1. We have an 18-9. So if we're trying to look for the manner in which coal was discovered, we should pick it up here in this range, the last 3 days here. And when I see 18-9, that's not exactly what you'd want to see, because that's not suicide, and it's not a natural death either. That is murder. And look who avails themselves on the scene, the little groups here. And the 11-2 in the middle. Ladies and gentlemen, I've said before, if we look back at April the 3rd, we have that 7 in the middle. I said, when the 7 is in the middle, I get nervous. And when we look at these days post the discovery day of coal, we see 18-9, 11-2, which is lawmakers. There's the 7. Official people, police people, 19-10-1. Decisions were made here. And let's be clear, group decisions were made here. Something does not add up here. And when you see numbers like 10-1, here's 10-1 as well. Organizational groups. I don't believe I've got the energy right now to go deep psychic on this, to discover actually what actually happened. But in the beginning, as I said in the beginning, and when I drew out these numbers, I had a feeling of dread. And if I had a time machine, I would go to this day here to see exactly what happened to the human beings that were caught in this mess. So conveniently, when shit goes down on March the 30th, sacrifices, group orgies, decadence, they start looking for fall guys. So the next day a story is hatched, and the rest is as you know it. March the 30th is where authorities need to look actually. Let me actually just go one day back here. Oh gosh, let's just grab. Let's just go one day back here. This is the second time it pinged on me. 27-9. Yeah, we got a 33. Always a red flag or orange flag. This is from a previous copy and paste. Let's just make it orange. And then we got 38, 11, 2, 11, 2, 2. 38, 11, 2. I'm going to leave it orange actually. That's also problematic. Yo, I think we need to go back even more. Ooh, hold on. Okay, we're going one more. Otherwise we doing a deep master dive here. Let's just have a look here. And my energy levels are a bit low. 26. We got the 29.8. Beg your pardon. 29, 11, 2. $37. See, here's the higher ups here. Something went down here, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm not saying this is the numbers are telling me this is not at a interpersonal level. This is at like a big level, your 10-1 levels. Something went down here. There's an anomaly of 8s as well on the 26-8. So, okay, let's put it this way. We can agree there's something that's definitely off about this case. In my opinion, anyway, there's definitely something off about this case. The story and numbers are not matching up. They might be overlapping in some areas, but they're not matching. So I'm just going to pick up now. This is the second part of the reading. Now, having done a bit of research overnight, I've of course come to have found out about his sister, Kyla Mercy Redbear. Now, I'm definitely going to look at her case as well. I have pulled out the date where the so-called, there's actually very little information that I could find, to be quite honest. And that is because minorities are underreported big time. So let's have a look here. All I know is she had allegedly committed suicide, as far as I understand it. A year before her brother's now situation, which I'm going to summarize still. We're going to come back here. You'll note now there's a purple block here. And she also, his sister also has a purple block. Now the reason why I've done that, and let's just do a quick recap. On April the 4th, I mentioned this is the time frame where I was trying to launch my book, right? But in Cole Brings Plenty's life, we have the 4-4. That's all about the facts, legal facts, legal documentation, paperwork. But let's not go there just yet. What I want to draw to your attention first, 4-4 on the day, and we've got a 8-8, so we've got masses of conflicts going on here. Plus we have the 888s. And keep this in mind, right? Because this is allegedly the day before Cole's passing, right? Or he was discovered on April 5, right? Now, if we go to his sister's scenario, what do we find here? We've got the double eights, so there's one issue, and we'll just call it an issue for now. It's not to say it's a real issue, it's the feeling that I'm getting, but the issue is used against her and her brother, but we'll get there, we'll go there. She also has the triple sevens, and you'll also note that I'm seeing now for the first time, well, my empath levels are peaking, and it's currently May 10, 06:37 a.m. I probably did about an hour meditation prep before recording, and my human part, me, is trembling. So here we go. No coincidences in the bingo game, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just remind ourselves, technically we're playing bingo now that we've got two cards to compare. All for entertainment, was it? Alright, let's have a look here. Where do I begin? So I've earmarked April 4. Now let's just do a summary here. Thank you, Cole. What I wanted to do here was do a summary on Cole. I listened back a little bit from what I did, but only the end to see where I ended. But I'm going to say, based on now this other connection or a second connection with his sister, and I may have said it in the beginning, this is not just about Cole happening here. Leading up to Cole's event day, March 31, there is big problems. There's big stories going on here. And let's just put it this way. If this was just about Cole, let's just say Cole is having a problem with his girlfriend over a few days leading up to the so-called event, then runs away because he's scared of being implicated on something, right? Let's just say that is the current context. However, the numbers leading up to the event tells me there's organizations involved. There's multiple organizations involved, and I'm not saying police are hunting him because nothing's happened at this point. These are organizations, money, lawmakers, law people, industry people. Okay, let's keep that in mind. Now we're coming over to Carla, and we will then complete with both at the end. Because while I was looking for more, so actually what happened, the way I stumbled upon her, sounds a bit weird, was I was researching, trying to get more information on Cole. I wanted to know, did anyone physically see him run out the property? And I believe now it was at 11 a.m. So I've lifted the line here from there to here now. For some reason I saw a night scene. It may have even been here, the March 30. Maybe that's the vision of a night scene, because it concurs that there's activity happening around here as well. So I've lifted that bar there, and then we go here. August the 8th, 2023 for me is problematic on its own. Okay. Beg your pardon, 16:7. The brother and sister are very connected and all good. See here, she's got that 16-7. There's a 16-7 here. Very eerie similarities going on here, which requires further investigation. We may have to go dark or deep. We'll see. But they are in the light. They are in the light. Alright, so let's just see here. 7. Yo. 15. 15-6. It always bothers me, that number in a crime scene, because it means, ladies and gentlemen, this means there's a male around here. There's someone else around, not on her own. (22-4). Where have we seen that before? 13-4. This was premeditated, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry to say. Let's just get to the point here, because, of course, this reading would have been quite long already, but this is absolutely important. Definitely another person on the scene, premeditated, plan in hand. And we'll get confirmation. We'll look for confirmations. Yeah, my heart's just dropped again. 14-5. There's groups. Never mind a person that comes to do the job, but there is instructed. There's a little group around as well. This nefarious 14-5 little gang of whoever they think they want to be. So let's just have a look here. 21-3. 21-3, 12-3. See, there's that nasty 21-3 here. Taking control of a situation. Something was going down here. Now, I'm just going back to the 88s and the 77s and the 777s on the day. When I was doing research this morning to get more information, I noticed the lack of information both with Kyla and Cole. And unfortunately, this is when cases go cold, no one cares, or the real people care, but the people in power don't care, right? Just another minority issue. Let's deal with it in the locations there. If it comes out the location, just leave it in the location there. So let's have a look here. Or the reservation, beg your pardon. In South Africa, they're called locations. And locations, not very nice. Shanty towns in the main. So let me just clear the obvious numbers here, just so I don't get distracted by seemingly new information. So August the 5th, 13-5, we may have to go back a bit, 12-3. Yeah, this eerily similar. So the 22 is an issue. Of course, we have an outburst going on here. But something's coming to an end. Something's coming to an end. Which, because of the presence of the 7s, and we know there's going to be an accumulation of 7s, even here, August 7, wow. There's an injustice that has occurred here by people of authority, people in official positions like police, higher-ups, entertainment people. We unfortunately have the 22-4 the day before, so this also tells me this is premeditated. And not on by Carla Joe. Let me actually just update that. There's definitely this. Okay, so to answer the obvious question, I'm saying definitely not a suicide, right? And when you have an outcome 14-5, and we'll look for validation. We'll look for validation, but to end off on a 14-5 is foul play in any book. So 17-8. Okay, let me just clear here. When you end on a 14-5, what we know about the case is fabrication, untruths, lies, and also indicates foul play. In any circumstance, I will say 99.99999%. And familiar to her. There's that 15-6, guys. I'm not joking when I see that 15-6 around town. There is other people involved here. 15-6, red flag now. There's someone else on the scene. And we'll go deeper. We'll have to go deeper because there's an eerie similarity. And let's zoom in here for a moment. Look at August 8, 2023. And April 4, the day before he dies. See his? Double fours, double eights become triple eights, 16-7. Beg your pardon. Look at that. Eerie similar. And we'll recall hers was first. Can't believe Cole was so recent, man. I feel... Okay. Let's complete for Carla Joe. 8, 9, 17, 8. So we got the 24-6 as the 24-6 is familiarity. And within the circle, this would be someone she would communicate with on a daily. 8, 9, 10. And I did, while doing research this morning, I did hear the story of his hair being cut. And my body just shakes when I hear that. That's like, for those that don't know, that is like going up to an Orthodox Jewish person, like very Orthodox, and you cut off his sideburns and his side hair and throw it in front of him. It would be a catastrophic event. For example. So that already tells me something. Now let's just say Let's just say, for argument's sake, because allegedly his girlfriend cut the hair off, right? Now, let's say they were having a normal tiff, and that she, you know, the energy I'm getting around the act of cutting his hair, not that it's completely disrespectful in the one side, but the other side, it was shaming him, okay? It wasn't a tiff, it was about shaming him. I'm going to zoom into his day here. And I'm referring you to March 30. Something happened here against him that made him flee, and the hair thing is part of it, but it was ritualistic in nature, satanically ritualistic, which is the people in the background creating problems here. Because again, what we know about the situation is bullshit. It's a nice pre-planned event for the dark side. So I just had a text given to me, Las Vegas. So let's just stay here. Carla Joe. Unfortunately, we have the 18-9 in play here, so there's bullshit in the air. Because why? She was actually murdered. So 8, 9, 10. Okay. Then we got August 11. 19-10-1. Oof, there's a surprise, eh? 19-10-1. What are we going to do to get rid of the problem? They ask each other. 26-8. No surprises. 17-8. Yeah. We got an imbalance of 8s here as well. We got decisions being made here in the background again. People having fun at other people's expense. I'm going to scream foul on this one. Carla Joe, definitely foul play. There's a familiarity around the person. She knows the person. I wonder, Carla Joe is actually reminding me to do her date of birth. Alright, so let me just, so here's the situation here. So let's look at her date of birth here quickly. Um, 6 plus 1 plus 10, 19, 27, 7, 9, 16, 7. Who are powerful numbers around, eh? This woman, Carla Joe, would have been very spiritual orientated. Very. Like, even if she tried to ignore it, she would still be very spiritual. And you know, I would just say, I'm not saying this is fact, but this could have happened in her life. That growing up, she would have felt the spiritual energy around her and her purpose even. But obviously then growing up as a teenager or having fun or whatever the situation was, that other things took over priority other than her source of energy. Let's say there may have been a moment, but try as she may. I mean, it might have happened when she was a teenager, rebellious, whatever. But try as she may, she would always come back to the spiritual center. The 9s in her date of birth, the higher self, source, energy, the higher self. The 7s are the psychic. 16-7, the psychic, the intuition. On one level, on a spiritual level, very, very, very in tune psychically, spiritually, let's say, spiritually. And this is the thing about people that pass untimely, is that the potential they bring with them and what they have, you know, she may have fulfilled it now as people experienced her, but I can tell you it could have been more and bigger. Because with age comes wisdom, experience, and then when you combine all of that information with who you are and your connection in the spirit world, becomes a great seer. Visionary. Tapped into the higher source. Now let's just look at her brother. We have got his date of birth here. Huh? 25/7. So the question I asked myself, and let's just zoom in here so you can see for both of them. The 27/9. So what crossed my mind is because there's similar numbers in around their passing, right? Was this some kind of karmic experience? And I don't believe it was. So, and of course it wasn't, because now Spirit has just told me, because why it's not, is because there's males or there's people interfering here. It's not their own act. We got 14/5 foul play, and there's people who manufactured the outcome by humans, right? But interestingly, 27/9, because it sits there, that's the heritage, lineage, past lives, connections, right? 27/9, and her brother, Cole, has a 25/7. So it's not a match. It's not a karmic or, you know, like the Bruce Lee and Brandon Lee story. It's not a karmic situation. It's not a heritage lineage situation. This is, and I'm going to confirm with him, yeah, him as well. Look here, he's also got the 14/5s in his crime scene zone, reflection zone. 14/5 and the 15/6. When you see those combinations, it is foul play. There's 15/6 on the scene as well. There's foul play and other people manipulating in the background. In both cases. 14.5, 15.6. Decisions being made for the group again. 19.10.1. Plans are being made behind her back. By 15.6. Within the group 14.5. Because there was some kind of outburst that triggers this again. That these people are so fragile, and I'm talking about the people behind the dark curtains, fuckheads, that they start to shimmer and shake in their boots. We're going to finally be exposed. So what do? They silence people. Here's the fathers here. We spoke about this earlier. 44, the fathers in play. The people like, what's that pig? I don't even want to mention his name. I start feeling sick. The pig from Hollywood. He just got his case, one of the rape convictions, overturned. That pig. Now, yeah, I don't think it's going to be necessary. I was just thinking, I was going to look at the ghost days for Cole, but it's not necessary, I don't believe. I think I explained his situation quite enough. And with his sister, I'm definitely throwing yellow. What do you do in football? Throw a yellow towel on the gameplay there, on the play. Foul play, ladies and gentlemen. And she has beautiful numbers there. Yo. Very high. And 6 as well. 6 is the visions, the dreams. If you have dominant 6s in your date of birth, visions, vivid dreams. And remember, there's different types of dreams as well. You can have prophetic dreams. So I'm definitely shouting foul play on Kyla Joe. And I'm saying with Cole, very suspicious circumstances, regardless of what the paparazzi or the media machine or the whatever they want you to believe happened. There's no coincidence that on April the 4th, we might as well put a... This, wow, it's almost identical. So we got puppet masters in the background, and yeah, they are here, 3710, I'm not making up stories. 3710, we've seen this number in the royal family situation, in the Princess Grace Kelly situation, the higher ups here who are out of control, 8, about information communication and the debauchery that goes on behind the scenes. Here we go, 1910-1. We see that with Kyla Joe as well. All these decisions being made on behalf of human beings, other people around, on what they, I keep wanting to say, what they feel are subordinates, that they can control and manipulate. Yeah, Harvey. Fuck off. Alright. Excuse me, but... so here we go. There's definitely evil lurking in the background here with their own agendas, their own little sacrificial games that pop out little stories for media to push through. You know, we spoke about the, what did I call them? Those fodder machines. Still as recent as April, 2024. And in this case, going back as far as August the 8th, 2023 with Kyla Joe. People selling stories here, And she has just lovely energy here. And very strong. Very, very strong. Gosh, man. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. What are people getting up to there, Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to sign off here. Please leave your comments in the comment section. And I'll see you soon. It's going to get busy on my other side. So see you soon. Stay safe. And see you in the next one. Bye for now.